My name's Tadhg Casey and I run Tadhg Casey Architects. I suppose the architectural language of the practice would be very much inspired by vernacular, maybe the farm buildings and the native typologies around. I'm from Ballyheigue, so around North Kerry, definitely rather, I think, and there was a great elegance in the vernacular architecture that I think got lost as we moved towards PVC, fascias and gutters, and so we're trying to bring it back simpler forms, and vernacular was as simple as you can get. There was a great efficiency in it because they weren't going to waste any materials, so the buildings ended up looking beautiful. I suppose I worked in Cork after college, Cork City Council Architects Department, and then I moved to Dublin. Dublin was brilliant for me, the experience I got there. I had a great time in the experience, but I suppose I always had it in my head to come home. COVID especially has simplified things. A lot of meetings are gone to Teams and Zoom. So rather than driving to Cork once a week for a meeting or once a fortnight and driving to Limerick, I can do them from here. So I'm only doing the site visits. So my commute, I walk 5 minutes. I live out in Balloonach, so I walk 5 minutes into work every day. And if I have to go to Cork or Limerick or around Kerry for site visits once a week or once a fortnight, it's no chore at all. And actually, it surprised me how easy and how much of a good base it is to service the 3 counties really, and that's as far as we go at the minute. My partner Niamh is from London, so obviously it was a big change. We were living in Dublin, but I suppose the business of Dublin, I think there's a slower vibe around the streets when you walk around Tralee. But I mean, quality of life, we were living in Pearse Street in Dublin. If we'd been locked down there, it would have been much more difficult than being down here with all the space we have, you know. I've been to outdoors, but like, you're spoiled for choice. I mean, you've the greenways be opening up soon. So I've an 18-month-old, so I need to get a Dutch bike so I can be bringing him, or a balance bike for him. But I can't wait for that. I mean, you've the sailing club, you've the diving boards opening up in Phoenix, you've swimming clubs, you've stand-up paddleboarding. I do a small bit of cycling, but I mean, that's not even half it. You know, you have all your GA clubs and soccer clubs in as well. Like, I just find it so accessible and I suppose easier, like, to do it. The dog gets more attention than any of us. He's inside. The dog now comes into the office 2 or 3 days a week and he's happy out. So, I mean, it works out brilliant because he's not in his home alone and he's inside, and he's a bit of a, I don't know, it helps the atmosphere. But we've the dog, and so far we've Dara's 18 months, and it definitely was a big consideration where he'd have, I suppose, near family as well, near my parents, and Niamh's family can come over quite easily, Farnford, Shannon or Cork from London. But again, you know, I just feel here, we're living in centre Tralee, we walk him, I'd say 200 yards to creche. You know, it's just easy and great. You know, that's what I find. Given the nature of architecture, deadlines sometimes are unavoidable. The flip side is working for yourself. I love it because the freedom you give, but I suppose the other end of that is the deadlines and the pressure. But I mean, here, I think it's great because it's 24/7. I mean, I looked at one of the co-working places in Dublin, and I had to be out by 8, which is fine most of the time, but there is always crunch points in architecture. So I have my fob, I have 24/7 access here, and all of my I thought I'd make the staff do 4. I'd only make myself do that, but that's important. That's very important to me, and it's great to have it. There's work here, in my experience, in our industry, if people make the jump and come home. Whenever I'm talking to colleagues or people I went to college with or friends, I'm just saying, just move home. People often mention it, that just do it now, because you don't want to be coming in at the tail end of anything in a couple of years. Do it now, get established. There's work here. You'll be established. what I find, I love living in this place because whatever work you put in your personal life or community, it's where I'm going to be now until I'm not around anymore. But I love that. I love being somewhere and being part of it. I suppose even from maybe what people might look at frivolous stuff, you've nicer places to get coffee, or walking around town, or going to the park at lunch is nice. But even then, to the serious stuff, like I suppose your peers, the business community around, are, especially in professional services, are more central. So it's good to be part of that community as well. Everyone's close, everyone's accessible, and I suppose I think it's a really nice town to be in. You know, the medieval streets, and being an architect, I'd be kind of drawn to that anyway. It would kind of be against my religion, if I could help it at all, to be, if I was out in a ring road, in a back car park lot. I mean, the quality it adds to my life to be in the centre of a nice town. I love it. I don't really think about it that much. I don't think that. I just think the project we're doing at the minute, and if we do that one really well, we get another one, we get another one. So I don't. Neve's always given out to me, but I don't really look past the end of next week. So maybe to my detriment, but that's the way I look at it. No, I'm under pressure. I'm definitely under pressure. No, I suppose I want to be happy with something. I want to be really happy with it when I send it out of the office. And I find if I'm looking down the road, I'm not focusing on the project I'm working on. Plus, I don't think people talk about the future. No matter where you're based, you can't control it. So stop worrying about it. There could be a recession in the morning or next year. Who cares? You can't control it. So just go with it. No, it definitely has, because I remember the first day actually I was out in one of those hot desks, and then I got a room for you. But whenever, say, we had a lot of work in Dublin, so I went back there for a few months, and but I mean, the flexibility from having a room to then down and then up, and now we've a lovely corner window overlooking the square. I mean, that's worth a lot to us. And I suppose the biggest thing that I find is the fee, the flat fee. I can plan around it. I don't have to be dealing with rates. I don't have to be dealing with utilities. I don't even have to think about them ever. I pay the flat fee, job done, great.